There
We
you go.
are.
My name's John Kelsey. I'm going to be the host of Lancaster Woodturners Weekly Coffee Hour. It's July 31st, 2025. This is number 264 in the consecutive series since very early in COVID. Uh, for those who pick this up on YouTube, you can join us anytime. Send me an email. I'll post my email on the bottom of the screen when I edit the video, and I can add you to our email list, and you'll get an invite every week. And just as a little secret, it's the same link every week. Never changes. So once you got it, you got it for to the end of time. I want to check in for club news, and then I have a short topic. Now let me do my short topic while the spotlight's on me, and then I'll put the screen back and do club news. I just got this issue of American Woodturner. It happens to have a story about me in there, but that's not why I'm holding it up. Why I'm holding it up is that the editor, Josh Friend, has just announced that he is retiring at the end of the year. And the search committee's been formed, and I am not on it and have nothing to do with it. The people I trust who are on it is Betty, the previous editor of the Journal, and Jean Le Guin, who's been on the board for 1,000 years and knows everything and has been very influential in making the current journal what it is. And that's the topic I want to introduce to you all is since they've started a search, and I know people have strong opinions about the journal, I'd like to bring it back next week after you guys have had a chance to look through the journal, and let's talk about how it's balanced. What's in it? Is there beginner stuff? Is there projects you like? Are there techniques you want to do? Are you bored by, let's have a discussion and see what we learn about it. And then we can send them that recording to help inform their investigation. Is you guys on with that as an idea?
Sounds good.
Okay. It's very rare we give you an assignment. We did for Barbara Dill, and or we offer you an assignment. You can do what you want, of course. But the more who play on this, the more fun it's going to be. So let's see now club news. Let me take the spotlight off of me and get back to the view I can see. Who Ziegler here? Or what's the situation in Lancaster?
Next Tuesday night, Dave Landers will do a remote demonstration of what he calls backwards hollowing or something like that, reverse hollowing. He basically will drill from the bottom of a piece, hollow it, and then cap it so you can't tell how a piece got hollowed. So that's what Dave will do next Tuesday. And then on Saturday the 9th, we will have our open shop from 9 till 12.
All right, that's a great topic that you've got with Dave. That's going to be an IRD, right? Because Dave's in Colorado.
And then just to get ahead of ourselves here a bit, in September, Barry has contacted Trent Bosch, and Trent Bosch, I believe, will be doing a remote demo on our September meeting.
Also on hollowing?
On hollowing, yes.
Wow, that's a great curriculum. That's a topic people want to know.
Yes,
great
it
stuff.
Is.
Yeah. Okay, other clubs? Nittany Valley?
Yeah, we have August off, so there isn't anything. But September meeting our topic is going to be show us what you turned this summer. So
good one. Let's see. Gerald, what's up with you guys?
Our next meeting will be the third Saturday in August, and I'll be the presenter. And, no demonstration per se, but I'm going to be doing holding devices, homemade as well as commercial.
Another great topic. Bert, how about Edmonton? You guys take the summer off too, don't you?
Yeah, we're pretty much down for the summer. So we did a live demo early in the month. Just something to do during the summer, and that's about it. I think we have another one planned in August as well. It's just a Zoom meeting, something to do in the summertime.
Okay. Mike Brazo, how about Golden Horseshoe? He's in the room, but he's not present. Anybody else want to say what your local club is up to right now, just for fun, just for a moment?
Hi, John.
Hi.
Susquehanna Club coming up. It's long range, but it's still there, and put it on your schedule. The Woodcraft Turn for the Troops is going to be on November 8th and 9th. We will be allowing, it's open to the public. Anyone can come in and make a pen. The pen blanks and all materials and even tools will be supplied by Woodcraft. So you do not, you are, if you have tools, bring them along. But if the public is invited, and even if you've never turned a pen, come out and do that. The other item is the farm show, which is in January. I believe it's somewhere around the 8th or 9th as well. And we will be demonstrating there as part of the Pennsylvania Agriculture Department. And we will be demonstrating all kinds of wood turning.
All righty.
So-
Barry, how about the music festival in September? What's up with that?
I'm not. I've contacted the guy who runs it, but I also passed off the information to Tom Wenzel, and we will be supporting it. It'll be the day after Labor Day, or I think it's like the 5th or the 6th of September.
Yeah, Barry, not to interrupt, but so Tom passed that on to me, and Jeremy Gans is the fellow that I've been in touch with, and so we asked folks in Lancaster Club if they're interested in volunteering. We sent that out in July, and we're going to discuss it at our August meeting because we need volunteers not just to turn sometime between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock on the 6th, but also bringing equipment out to Buchanan Park and then getting stuff back to the shop afterwards. So yeah, it's on the 6th, and provided we can get volunteers, we will have some folks there turning.
Okay, I guess that's,
Sure.
thank you.
John, can I just make one thing on the behalf of the Mid-Atlantic Wood Turner Symposium?
Go for it.
We, this year, Rick Baker decided to go out and buy himself a whole set of lathes. So we now have 5 lathes in storage, 4 Powermatics and another one. So this year, the transportation of lathes to the hotel is going to be taking a whole lot less time and a whole lot less travel around. So those of you who volunteered last year, it's going to be a huge amount easier to get it done this year, not nearly the time required. So if you see the notice, or if you'd like to, please volunteer for helping transport. We don't need a lot of guys. We need 3 or 4 guys to help us out, but that would be still great if you can help us.
Okay.
If I can piggyback on pen turning, and Doug's part of this announcement, I had a friend who knew the wife of a former turner who passed away, and he had boxes of pen kits and wood blanks and all that kind of stuff. And my friend said, "You want?" I said, "Nope, I do not turn pens, but I happen to have people who know people." So Doug, I dropped it off on Doug's lap, and he's going to sort through it and probably put that stuff in at the store at the meeting room. And you guys who want to do it, get on it. There's going to be a lot of stuff there.
Okay. I'm going to go into the hands now, unless, who's that?
This is Monty Richard.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, I'm a member of the Acadiana Wood Turners down in Lafayette, Louisiana, and most of our guys are prepared for SWAT that's coming up toward the latter part of August, and we were fortunate to have 2 guys in our club selected to do some demos over there. So at our last couple of meetings, they've been practicing their presentations as demos to the club, which was very interesting. And go ahead.
What is SWAT? SWAT,
SWAT,
Southwest.
Southwest area wood turners.
And where does that take place?
It's in Waco, Texas.
Cool. Okay.
So it's a pretty big regional meet here that's very popular with the people in our area.
Yeah, I know the Duxbury goes down there too, and others. I've met other people that go. Great. It's said to be a great show, as is Mid-Atlantic. Yeah.
I'm demoing this year.
Oh, all right. You're going to show us your demo as a practice run?
No way.
Okay.
No, it's on holding. It's on Morris tapers, making wooden Morris tapers and all kinds of different things.
Well, that's a great topic. So we'll have that someday soon.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
John, the OTI symposium is at SWAT also this year again. So we'll be there having fun with ornamental turners.
All right. Cool. And that's an annual event that you usually park at one of these shows, do you?
Used to be we moved around the country, you know, kind of like AAW does, but
Yeah.
the cost of doing that is just ridiculous. And what we found was a really good cohesion with SWAT. So starting last year, we met with the SWAT community and had our first meeting there. And then we're going to continue annually being at SWAT just because it logistically is so easy. And we can store equipment in Waco, so we don't have to transport the equipment all the way down there too.
Yeah, just solved the same problem Doug and team have just solved, or Rick Baker and Doug and team have just solved, because that picking up big lathes from people's shops and getting them over to the hotel and in and out, we've had some close calls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go to the hands. I'm going to go to Ron Sheehan because we don't see a lot of Ron, and I'm going to call on everybody and we'll look at what you'd like to show us. Ron, I'm not showing you anything today because was been at the beach.
Ron, John, don't forget Barbara Dill's thing. She doesn't have her hand raised.
I'm sorry. If I miss Barbara, I'll come back to you, Barbara, in a minute.
I had my mute on. Yeah, Doug mentioned about the symposium. He didn't mention the dates. September 18th is the day for loading equipment in. The symposium starts Friday night, the 19th of September. The event starts 20th and the 21st. So I'm looking for volunteers to move the equipment in, run the video, and help with general setup and put things together on Friday the 19th. I sent a message out to all the volunteers that were on the list from last year, and I've got 1 or 2 emails back, and that's about it. So I need help on that.
And you're gonna
anybody that's interested, let me know.
Put your email in the chat, okay? Or your email or your phone number, put it in the chat so folks on the call can get a hold of you.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. One other thing, I'm living in a retirement community here, and one of the fellows that lived in a small villa that had a garage, he had a shop in his garage. Now he's moved out of the villa and he's going into the apartment. He's moving into an apartment, and he's got to clear out his equipment. He was a member of our wood shop, but he's on oxygen now, and he can't come in the wood shop. It's too much dust. So he's trying to get rid of his equipment. He has what is it? I can't think of the name of the company down in Philadelphia that sells a lot of wood equipment. He has a lathe from there that's weighs 12 inches, and he's got a bed extension on it. I don't know how long that bed might be, 3 feet. So he wants to get rid of that lathe, and he's got a lot of other accessories, equipment, turning tools, and so forth. If anybody's interested, you can get in touch with me, and I can put you in touch with him.
Ron, that's probably PSI, Penn State Industries.
Penn State Industries. Yeah, couldn't come up with the name. Yeah, and they're pretty good quality lathes. So if you want to take that off his hands, you can get in touch with him.
All right, thanks a lot, Ron.
Hey, can I just interrupt and ask a quick question selfishly? Ron and Doug, I don't know if either of you will be at Tuesday's meeting, but if you are, can you please help remind me to restate Ron's request for volunteers for Mid-Atlantic Symposium at the meeting?
Yeah, you'll get them.
Yeah, I'll try and make that meeting with him.
Guys will step up.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you.
I have a question about that. Is there any off-site or remote capability with that symposium, or do you have to be there in person?
You have to be there. We tried video one year, it didn't work.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you were with
But
me, you and I did it there, and they
Yeah.
decided they just don't want to fool with it. They don't want it. And
I
so you gotta be there, and it's a great event. You know,
I
there-
know, but I screwed my calendar up and I can't attend. So
maybe you want to go to the one of there's events like it around the country. There's probably a dozen such events now. You could
Yeah.
find one in an adjacent state not too long from now. So
Yep.
great events. I like the weekend local regionals a whole lot better than the annual. The big annual thing is way too much for me. It's like a fire hose. I can't get around it. It's just too huge. Ah, all right. Let's see. We're going to go to hands up and look at some wood turning. I hope we can do that. Let's start with Duxbury. Everybody loves Duxbury, and then yep,
They do?
yeah.
Oh,
You wouldn't believe the emails I get that saying, "What you should look at the comments on our videos." Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
afraid.
yeah. More
I'm
Duxbury,
afraid.
more Duxbury.
Okay, this is another Duxbury. In fact, I'll show where this comes from. This is a maple bowl turned. The inside of it's turned, and then a purple heart plate's glued against that, and then the finish inside is made. Then that's cut in half. No, then that's turned over, and the plate is screwed against the flat base plate. And then the outside of this is turned. Then the whole thing's cut in half, and it's screwed together. You can see the two halves, but it's screwed together like that.
Well, Stephen Hogbin was the first one who first showed us that stuff, as far as I'm aware, back in the '70s, and that's really a good example of it right there. And the question I have for you is, how hard was it to level it all off at the seams inside?
You helped me with that, John. You said something about it, and then damn, I said, doggone, that's I didn't level anything. Let me show you. I'll show you where it comes from. Then you'll see better. Let me switch cameras here. You think I know what I'm doing, but I don't. But anyway, this is the same kind of thing. This is a bowl blank turned.
Move closer to your keyboard with it. Bring it closer to your keyboard. There you go.
This is a bowl blank turned, and then a plate glued to it. The inside of this is turned through the plate, and then the plate anchored against a face plate with screws through these missing parts here.
So you've taken care of that seam on the lathe, in effect.
You got it. You got it.
Now,
And when they get all done, well, rather than cut it in half and glue it, I hinged it so you can see what happens if I break it. Anyway.
That's a great little demo. Yeah.
Oh, but it goes on from there. This is just the first one. See this?
Yeah, sure.
That's how it got started. Now after you get started, you come up with this. Are you ready? This is a
flat up now. Fold that up. Let's see how it
flat
goes.
bowl this way. This used to fit, but it's been through a lot of demos. But anyway, the serpentine bowl this way, and it's an oval bowl this way.
That is so good, Dux. That's just astonishingly fun.
It won't hold soup, but anyway, and it used to fit. But these barrel hinges, these things are really neat. These are brass, and you press them in the hole.
You could throw some recessed magnets in there, and then it would hold potato chips, no problem.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, probably. Anyway, this has been bent around, people. In fact, I took this to SWAT last year, and they bent it all around. Anyway, you put these barrel hinges in, and I don't know if we can see it, there's a screw, a real small screw. Once it gets in there, you tighten that, you run that screw in, and it expands that brass plug.
Those are a form of
really
sausage. Nice. They're a form of sauce hinge, I believe.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Questions for Dux?
So one other thing, I mean, a napkin holder. This is just a simple napkin holder. Holds a napkin. It's just a piece of wood that's dish shaped. And it's got a little holder on it. You put some napkins on it. Anyway,
Nice piece. Nice,
Do you
simple
have
piece.
magnets in that, Dux? I'm just
no
kidding.
magnets, no magnets.
That
No
looks like
magnets.
I don't
piece
use
that
many
needs some
magnets.
magnets.
All right. Any more questions for Dux?
You catch that, John? That looks like that napkin holder needs some magnets.
Yeah. No, no.
Okay, let me see. I see Vic. Vic. I haven't seen you before. I don't think.
I thought there was Barbara was gonna
Oh,
talk.
okay,
I can go after Barbara if you want.
You go right now. I got you spotlighted
Okay.
anyhow, and then we'll go
All
to
right.
Barbara.
So
I'm sorry, I forgot that, but you'll forgive me.
it's a great segue from Jim. So I just wanted to say thanks to both Jim and Mike Peace for putting the Dux Chuck online and giving some demos. So part of the Bucks Woodturners, they do a wood exchange, and the whole idea is you donate a piece of wood, somebody random gets it, and you get somebody else's piece of wood, and then you're supposed to return it to them as a turned object. And I got a piece from somebody who had said that they liked, rather than being inspired by nature, they liked the man-made designs and things like that. And so I thought, well, I've got to figure out how to try and do an off-centered piece. And so I watched a bunch of videos on it and came up with this piece, which is sycamore. You can see that it's got kind of a domed side to the top of it as well as to the bottom of it.
Lift it up just a little bit higher. Yeah, cool. Okay, we can see that better.
It's a piece of sycamore, and one of the things that I wanted to try and do was to capture the ray forms and leave those intact on the rim to give a visual appeal to the outside of the rim, and then also, make the proportions of the bowl interior part nice. And so it's like this is like a 2/3 of the diameter of the larger diameter and stuff like that. And so this was a very interesting challenge for me to get to doing the jam chuck when the bowl is domed like that, because you can see that the rim, outside rim, is flat, but the surface is actually sloped because it's obviously hollowed out from that. But essentially what I did was take a bowl and create a jam chuck. Sorry, take a bowl, a rough cut bowl, and then make it to the same size so that I could have a jam chuck that way to do it. But this was a lot of fun. It was a lot of learning, and I appreciate you guys for providing all the videos and how-tos and sharing. It's been incredibly helpful for me as a beginner to try some new stuff. So I appreciate it all.
Hey, Vic,
Let me
that's
ask you about
really nice
Let me
piece.
ask you about the ray cell surface there that you were trying for. Did you get a nice checkerboard shimmer? Oh, I can see it now. That's really sweet. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I did. So yeah, it was apparent when it was flat cut, and so I just wanted to try and see if I could keep it sloped to give it a visual curve, but also keep the rays on it. So it worked out pretty well.
I'm very fond myself in my own work. If I can show ray fleck like that, I always try and do it because it shimmers in the light. It's so pretty.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not a gloss finish. It's Renaissance wax. So
that's a nice soft finish. Yeah. Yep. I'm sorry, I cut somebody off in there
That was me. That's a great piece, Vic. Appreciate it. But what'd you learn whenever you made that the first time?
So it was kind of lots and lots of learnings about the Dux Chuck itself. And I started with smaller pieces and taping onto, and so this is another smaller version. There was lots and lots and lots of learnings, not only how when you tape a piece on, how light a cut you have to take, because I must have picked them off the floor about 17 or 18 times. And then also the main thing that I was learning was how far to offset and how to keep the proportions, and keeping that domed surface. If you make the interior bowl too big, you lose all of the effect. And so I definitely tried it like 7 or 8 times before I made the attempt on the larger piece. But the other thing that I thought was important was essentially instead of taping the larger piece, the piece that I had actually had scrap glued to it, and so turning that to the interior part of the Dux Chuck so that it's actually glued to the piece that you're mounting it to was really important. And the other piece that I think is quite relevant to this is the jaws that I have are dovetail jaws, so they don't clamp evenly on the Dux Chuck itself. And so some of the modifications to the subsequent versions of my Dux Chuck, I put an aluminum piece on the outer edges of that so that it distributes that pressure a little bit more evenly instead of pinching in. The other pieces that I learned were essentially if these are the two layers of the jaws of the Dux Chuck, if you're not clamping in the middle and you don't have a full tenon, your jaws tend to do this kind of thing, and so they're not clamping that tenon evenly. So there's all kinds of modifications that I had to do with the jaws that I have, meaning that the center point of the depth of the jaw should be dead center to the dovetail point, so that it's distributing that pressure evenly. And then the other modification that I did was so you got Jim's and Mike have showed they glue a stop block to the top of the jaw to orient it. I essentially just bent my aluminum bar so that there's a 90-degree angle there and it's just cut short. I just assumed that would be a little bit more stable than a piece of wood, but
Okay, well,
lots
here's
of
the thing.
modifications. I'm sure everybody does it a little bit differently.
Here's the thing about that. Would you please bring it next week so we can see what you've done? Because it's a
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
description, but I got lost about 2/3 of the way in there.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Yeah, I've made so many modifications to it that the ones that I have that are not actually complete. I was going to bring them, but they don't have the hole drilled in them.
Well,
And
when you're
that's kind of the idea is that I'll index it on the lathe and then drill it on the lathe rather than trying to do it with a drill press and then trying to make sure that index is just right.
No, the only way you can get it
naturally.
right on, dead on, is to zero it and then drill it. But the other thing is, with the dovetail jaws, you could actually cut the wooden frame with the, 12-degree angle.
Ah, right. Yeah, I
And,
hadn't thought about that.
and it would lock on there. But I use straight jaws.
Dux, how about
Jim's-
change your camera back to the one that looks at your
Yeah.
mug?
Yeah.
You're
That's a great point.
you're more
Okay.
attractive than your desktop.
Never mind.
Hey, Vic.
Thank you.
Hey,
Sorry
Vic,
about
Vic, as John says, if you come to the meeting on Tuesday, it'd be wonderful to bring that so there can be a discussion after the demo.
Okay, yep. I'm not entirely sure I'll be able to make this meeting, but I will in September, if not.
Cool. Cool. Okay. Anybody else on this? I'll move along. All right. Thank you
Thanks,
all.
all.
Great chat. And nice piece. Dave Belial. Dave Belial is what I'm shooting for. Did I spotlight the wrong guy? Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
All right, I'm gonna give it another try. Where'd he go? All right, got him.
We're going to do Barbara first.
I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you for the reminder. Barbara, you there?
I am here. Yes, John.
All right. If I can find you, I'm going to spotlight you. I haven't found you yet. Help me out, Bowman. Where is she? Keep talking, then you'll pop up so I can see you.
Okay. Well, I wanted you to know that I got my new journal and read your article, the article about you, and it was really nice. So I was happy to see that. And I didn't go to the symposium this year, but I did buy the video package, and I have spent more time watching demos all the way through than I would ever do when I'm live at a live demo at a symposium, because I'm always flitting around from place to place, just what you said, John. So I really enjoyed that. And I liked Jeff Horning's video on thread chasing. So I decided to go down that rabbit hole. I've never done it before. And I borrowed some tools And I've enjoyed doing nuts and bolts just to understand what that whole concept is. So that's been a lot of fun for me. But I wanted to say one thing I've done this year, because I've stopped traveling and teaching, is that my goal was to put out my last videos that talk about multi-axis spindles and everything I've taught. I figured I should be better now than I was 20 years ago. So I'll put it down on a video. And the segment I did for you all was what I was thinking about for my 5th video, which is showing how my work progressed, understanding the concepts and how a small idea can grow into a larger idea if you understand the variables and the outcomes and the axis placement. So that was my 5th and final video. So now I'm free to play around with anything I want to.
Now, I don't remember, did you got from me the videos to do good copies of both videos?
I couldn't download them on my website, but they are, on my YouTube channel, but they are there, but they're harder to locate. But I ended up putting that presentation in a video that I made here and produced that. So,
okay.
yeah.
Because I can always send you well, I guess you have to use Dropbox or Google Docs or something to send the file, but it can be done. They're big files. They're gigabyte
I know they are,
size
yeah.
files, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they can also be downloaded. I've done this before with others. I've given them a way to download it. And if you want me to try that, I'll be glad to.
Well, now I've done it.
You've gone ahead.
In a
Okay.
more complete way as well. So that was my practice run with you guys. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you for that. And we've been that for a lot of people who stumble into us. You know, they do their practice run here and then they go do the show.
Right. So I was also going to show that somebody had mentioned the chainsaw approach to the lathe issue that I got intrigued with a couple of years ago, and I do blame it on Derek Weidman for doing that in one of his demos. So of course we had to come home and play with the chainsaw, put the lathe at 400 RPMs and put it in reverse. Neither one of us were strong enough to be able to control that chainsaw so that it actually could connect with the wood without bouncing. So then we went to a 4-inch grinder, and that was harder. And then we went to a 2-inch grinder and started playing around with, this is a very primitive idea, putting the lathe in reverse at a very slow RPM and then putting the grinder on that and pulling it out. So you get this really nice swirl. So it's been a lot of fun to just play around with things like that. But Derek was the instigator there.
Well, now I remember Mark Lindquist had a chainsaw with the bar bolted to this post in a steady rest. So now that can pivot there, but it's constrained by this steady rest and banjo apparatus. It's not free-handed. And he did all kinds of freehand stuff with that, with the lathe on and off and in various speeds and hand rotating the lathe against the saw in different ways. Very interesting surfaces.
I love his work. And also Liam from Ireland came through and did some demos. So I created a way to put my chainsaw on a jig that's in my tool rest. And
that's the key.
Yeah. So, and I did some of that work, but I don't want to do it while I'm alone in my shop, and I haven't really gotten back to that. But I love the texture of the chainsaw against turning wood. It's fun.
I think my own opinion is that's the only safe way to do it, is to bolt the saw bar to a post that's in the tool rest, in the banjo, just like it was a tool rest, and then then it's not going to fly up and hit you in the face, which is to be avoided at all costs.
But I think the Lindquist also had a thing that was above the lathe on some metal and a way to control. I mean, I've seen some of their videos with that contraption as well. So they really thought it out well, I think.
Yeah, there's high level engineering that went into some of that stuff. And Mark made some enormous sculptural pieces that went into major museums. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, any comments more for Barbara? Okay, thank you, Barbara.
Barbara, you still doing your multi-axis turning?
Yes, I'm always going to do that. but I'm also having fun. I hyper focused on that for so many years. So now I'm enjoying just going down a few other rabbit holes, but I will always go back to that because I'm still very fascinated with multi-axis spindles.
I've seen some of your demos and it was amazing how well you understood what's going to happen. I tried a lot of it and I got some good pieces out of it, but thank you for that.
Good. Oh, you're welcome. It just takes hours on the lathe, doesn't it?
Yeah, there is that.
Yes, right.
Barbara,
John.
is that your music instrument in the background?
That's a Barry sax, and my wife plays that. I play trumpet, and
yeah.
We both play in the Hanover Concert Band. So I'm sitting in my living room, which is really our music room. So, yeah.
Okay.
John, could I just reinforce something that Barbara said or brought up? It seems to gloss over it a bit. We had a huge discussion about the safety of what, Jim was chastised somewhat for his technique. And I think what Barbara's highlighted is that using a chainsaw is not the issue. It's making sure it's bolted down safely and making sure your mounting is correctly before you start introducing it to the wood so it doesn't fly around. And that's really key when you're trying new techniques, is to make sure you've thought about how these things can fly around so that you keep yourself safe.
Yes.
I have one of those and I would never even show it. I'm afraid of the liability and in fact, I'm afraid to even use it. That damn chain breaks, you're going to get cut right in half. Anyway.
Anybody else? All right, on that note, I'm going to move along. Dave Belisle. Oh, Dave Bell. I'm sorry. I thought that was Dave Belisle. Okay, Dave Bell, we got you. Spotlight.
Thank you. Yeah, we recently had Ellie Avicera here, and
Where is here?
In southwestern Ontario, Hamilton, Guelph area.
Are you the Golden Horseshoe guys or some other club?
I'm actually the president of the Waterloo Wellington Woodturners.
Okay.
Anyway, one of the projects that Ellie did was his long trombleurs, and I was just so impressed with this that I decided to expand on it a little bit, I guess you could say. And this was my latest piece that I did. It's 21 inches tall, but yeah.
All right. All right. Now, is that with string steadies or what's your method?
Yeah. So he showed us how to make the Ellie Netta jig that that's what he's called it, that goes in the tailstock. So little did I know that I actually had a jig, but it was a #2 Morris taper for my smaller midi lathes. So I had to make one for my Morris taper 3 on my one-way lathe. But yeah, so I started fooling around with these, and yeah, it was just, rather than come to a fenial point on the top, I thought, no, let's put something on the top, and I just so happened to have some small box elder burl pieces to put on the top. So that's what I did. And then I added a little piece of box elder burl down below as well. They're dyed yellow. And I thought this was just really nice, to complement what Ellie had shown us.
Now, did you turn a little wee tenon on there?
Yeah, so there's a tenon on the bottom of the box elder burl. And then that tenon fits into a hole that I drilled at the very beginning of turning the trombleur spindle.
Ah, okay. So, yeah.
So when you look
so you centered the spindle on that hole.
Yeah, so when you start turning the trombleur, it's only sticking out of the chuck an inch, inch and a half. And that's when I put the hole. And then from there, you start to turn the trombleur as you feed it out through the headstock, and it gets longer and longer.
What kind of chuck are you using for that?
I'm using the pen, it's a one-way Talon chuck with the pen jaws.
So just a regular chuck, in other words, not nothing exotic.
Yeah, it's a regular chuck, and the pen jaw chuck is square, right? So when you feed the blank through, it stays perfectly centered in that chuck. You just keep feeding it through.
Wow.
right? Versus the other way that Ellie was doing it.
And now, do you have the tail it caught steadied on the tailstock on that hole, say on a, or is it just out in the air?
That's where the Ellie netta jig comes in. So that's where the string is. And as you advance the piece out of the headstock, it stays within the string on the tailstock.
And goes into the tailstock ram, into the taper hole?
Yes, it does. It fits right in. Yeah. So you have to turn a Morris taper.
Wow.
So
I'd like to see a video of that technique. It probably are out there on YouTube somewhere, but that's a good looking thing.
Yeah.
Good looking, very interesting process.
There's another one that I did there leading up to it. This is what I did before. This one was actually one that I demoed at the Waterloo Wellington Woodturners Guild at the last meeting.
I like the other one with the ball and down near the bottom. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I thought that helped set it off, putting something, because if I go back to it here, where the ball is, underneath the ball, those are actually two separately turned pieces.
Right.
Right. So it was made sense to put the ball there and then put the trombleur spindle on top of that again. So that ball has a tenon on it that fits into the bottom, the base, and then there's a hole drilled in it for the trombleur stem to sit into.
Nice going.
I think I have a video. There's the two of them together. Bear with me a second. There's something on my lathe. Oh, if I can find it here. Shouldn't be far away. Here.
There you go. That's a video.
Oh, this is just the glue up. I'm sorry. So that there is a that's a spindle steady that you use midway between the tailstock and the headstock. I had to make that up quickly, so because there's a little bit of wobble, but and then you can see I did a captive ring on here as well.
How do you tighten that string? What kind of knot do you use that allows you to tighten that string?
I just wrap it around the nail head several times and it stays tight. It's just to keep it from vibrating. You just put a bit of tension on it. You don't actually wrap the string around the spindle itself.
Huh. But it's kind of in a cage between four pieces of string.
So you can see
8 pieces of string.
Yeah, it's the string that goes on either side of the spindle, right?
Yeah. Very clever.
So this is actually, I did this. This is the actual when I was gluing it all up.
Yeah. But that's the key, is seeing how that works, how you can steady it and to do what you need to do, yeah, as it emerges from the chuck.
You can see the string on either side of the spindle on 4 sides, right? So that's what keeps it center.
Yeah.
Tension on the string as well, right? And that's waxed string.
Now you're working right up at the face of the chuck when you're working on this spindle, aren't you?
Yes, you only work within an inch and a half from the face of the chuck. And you finish it as you go, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you have to come back to it afterwards. It's done.
Right. Huh.
And then that's just centering it for when to glue up. Oops, sorry. No, I don't know where the video is for the tailstock, but yeah.
Well, that's okay. We got it now. That's terrific. At least I think I could do that.
And it's
cool.
You can actually there is a video on my Instagram and my Facebook pages. You can actually see it in the tailstock with the Elinetta jig in the tailstock. Yeah.
Okay.
So the string makes it self-centering. I'm trying to figure out how it holds it in the center, because it can go either direction, right, on the string?
Yes, it can. I do have a photo of it. I'm not sure how far back it is in the thing.
It's a neat idea.
It's I know there's a photo of it. Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's in the
Yeah,
head.
that's the key right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
And
the
there's
same.
a hole drilled in the end of that spindle that was drilled when it was a square rod.
Yep.
Yep.
So I've learned that if you want a bigger spindle, all you do is you basically measure the inside diameter of your headstock, and that'll give you the diameter. But you can actually make the spindle square. If it's square, it won't fit in. But you can actually, I just took a hand plane and planed off the four corners, which let me feed the stock into the headstock.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I actually had a bigger spindle to work with. But I think the smallest
Sure.
diameter is 3/16 that I turned on that. You can turn them thinner, but then they're not very stable. They become very weak.
Yeah.
So how far away
Wow.
from the chuck is that string rig?
The tailstock?
Is that the tailstock? Okay.
That's in the tailstock, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not sure. There's the overall picture.
Right.
So that's about 18 inches.
Very cool. Very cool. Very good setup.
Right. So that's just black dye, and then I just have my own paste wax mixture with some carnauba wax. Actually, it's a hard piece, and after I dye it, the dye dries really quick. You can put the wax on, and you just pinch it between your fingers with a cloth, and do a couple coats, and it burnishes up to a nice shine, and then you just advance the piece of wood through and continue turning. And even if you turn back into a finished piece, it doesn't matter because you're going to dye it and finish it again anyway.
Wow. Sweet setup. Anytime you want to make a video of that, we'd be happy to see it.
The video of the actual turning?
Yeah.
I can do that.
That'd be fun. Okay. Thanks a lot, David.
Welcome. Thank you.
Don Smith, I think you're still hanging out. Dave Potts also. Let me see. Don, have you got a movie to show, and how long is it? Are we going to run out of time? What do you got?
You're mute.
I should be clear. Yes,
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
got a movie to show, or are you going to show work? What are you going to do?
I've got some photos to show of this.
Okay, Dave Potts, you okay? And Dave Hudgel, if we don't, we'll try to get to you, but if not, going to see you again next week?
Fine.
Give me a thumbs up, because all I can see is your faces. Cool, thank you. Go
Okay.
ahead, Don. Don, you're on.
See that?
Yeah.
First of all, I've got 9 pieces of wood cut at 40 degrees and glued them up. I glued them up with 2 circlips joined together and tightened them up to make this particular piece. Then I turned the piece by using button jaws on a 12-inch plate, and then I turned the face of that piece to flatten it, make it nice and square. I found the center of the size that I wanted to turn the inner part of the ring by keeping the left-hand point on and not the right-hand point anywhere near the wood. And then I turned out the center down towards the chuck plates up to within about 1/8 of an inch of the actual plates. I'm checking that it is square. And then I used a smaller set of button jaws, which fitted the inside circle. And I then faced off,
put that pencil line round because that was the outside diameter that I wanted to turn it to, and turn the outside down, of course, taking out the little ridge that was on the inside. Now, I spoke to, I think Richard earlier, about how I drilled something on the lathe when I wanted to be square and dead center. That's the little spigot drill block I've made, which is the center of the drill to the top of my banjo is dead center. I lock the plate on with my head lock, and then I drill my first hole through. I take the drill out, I remove the lock, I turn it exactly 12 points on my dividing head, set it back up again, and I drill the other side. Therefore, I've now got a dead center instead of trying to drill it dead center on a pillar drill. That's just a setup I use for my sanding block so that I can keep it all in line. And when I'm sanding, I just take out each one from 100 up to 600 if I need it. That's the two plates I used. The next piece is a wooden faceplate, and I'm putting hot glue onto it to fix my clock block. I then turned the face, I've presented the clock to it, and until I got a nice fit on the clock, like so, I then turn it round using that opening on my chuck, face off, turn it down, put some decoration on the back. This is just showing you one of the little spindles that I made. I won't show all of them. That was a dry run of making certain everything lined up and fitted perfectly before I removed the point from, I don't know if you can see the pointer, those three pieces were cut out and made the block, of course, normally. Then I polished them, and then I finished up with the clock. So would you like to see it? And that's the last of the photos.
Hey,
Fantastic.
Don, I have an ignorant question. How did you get the two spindles contained within the C shape? Because
right. First of all, this spindle here is actually fitted into the base and into here. This spindle actually rides up into this hole to the bottom of this little knob. You then fit this into the bottom hole. Then you slide the top spindle down into the hole, and then you glue that from the top by fitting in your top finial.
I knew that. I just wanted to see if you did, Don. Very clever.
Well, I want to compliment you, Ziegler, on good moderator skills in identifying the key question in the piece while it's still on the screen.
I felt kind of ignorant, so I thought I'd just what's the word? Expose my ignorance and ask the question.
Good question.
John,
good
you
answer
just beat
too.
me to that question.
It takes a little while to realize how you can do it. The only problem is that to do it, that spindle there, you polish. And of course, you can't put any glue on it when you're putting it up into the hole, because if you did, when you come down, you've got the glue showing on this piece here. So you have to fit it all together. This can be glued, of course, and it can be glued into the base. But before I glued that into the base, of course, I put this flat on the bench, because the thickness of the half moon and the clock housing is the same thickness, so that you make certain you're absolutely square and flat between the two whilst they're setting. And as I say, you can't put glue in there, so you have to pour glue in from the top, and then you fit the other spindle in and wait for them to dry.
Great technique. Very clever.
Any other questions? Stop the share.
All right. Yeah. Any more questions for Don? Otherwise, I'm going to try and fit another of these guys in. All right. Thanks a lot, Don. Great demo.
Thank you. Thanks again.
Dave Potts, take it away.
This kind of
You just muted yourself somehow. I don't know how.
I should be out now. You hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, good. Earlier, another meeting, I showed this little jig right here. This is for doing a bowl from a board. This would be, here's my tool post. This would go in the tool post, and a parting tool would sit inside this little groove that's right there. These are 3D printed. This is another spare top. And they're going to hold the parting tool at a specific angle, 45, 40, 55, 50 degrees. The problem with a 3D printed is it softens when that tool gets hot. So I'm teaching metal shop for part of my day this year. I made a wooden pattern. Okay, so this is a regular foundry pattern. You can see it's got draft because it's going to be cast this way in the foundry sand. I made 2 at a time, and this is my aluminum pattern for these heads. So this would be a lot more permanent than the 3D printed head. And I made a second one I'm going to share with somebody else.
And so when does the slot get cut in it, and how?
The slot would get cut in last. I left this all attached here. So this is the sprue hole for pouring the molten aluminum in. And these are the gates to direct it to the part. So they'll be cut off first. Then I've got to grind this so it's perpendicular, because right now it's got pattern draft.
It's got draft, yeah.
Yeah, where it's not flat. Once that's all done, then I can secure it in a vise and use a milling cutter to either slitting saw or cutter to cut that slot.
Yeah, on a drill press or a milling machine or what?
I'll use a milling machine for it.
Okay, so you've got a complete metalworking shop at your disposal.
I have one in school, and I do have a small mill here at home.
Wow, that's a fabulous setup. It's enviable. Any questions for Dave?
So I had metal shop in 8th grade and never really had time to take it the rest of high school. I taught for 42 years without having it. In my 43rd year, they said, "Hey, can you teach metal shop?" So I have 2 sections of advanced metals.
So how many of y'all in the room would learn metal shop also when you were a kid and still do it, like this pouring aluminum and machining it and things like that? Oh, I'm seeing half a dozen hands go up. Yeah, interesting. Thank you, Dave. See a bunch of you all. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you all next week.
Thank you, John.
Take care,
Thank you, Jim.
everybody.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Wood shop. Thank God for wood.